So, first off, the first half of the Pico is obviously Pico is a rough diced product of tomatoes, onion, cilantro, some jalapenos, a little extra flavor. So we're going to dice first. Once again, we take the dice attachment for the R2 dice. Discharge plate. You've heard it before. It's the only thing you've got to use with every function. So this goes in first, and now we're going to go to the dice grid. Remember, it only goes in one way, can't go in upside down. So that goes in like that. Then we've got the cutter plate. In the R2 dice, the cutter plate, the top cutter plate, has a thumb screw that you screw into the drive shaft and it holds it precisely and firmly so it cuts very nicely. So that goes in, we turn down the thumb screw just finger tight. Then we have the lid, lid goes on. As the lid closes, that sets and pushes a safety pin that activates the motor. That's the safety. So when you take the lid off, it won't run. We're going to dice the tomatoes, R2 dice, pretty simple, we just toss them in. We're going to do the onions. I do the onions right before the end. I toss a couple of tomatoes back on top of those, helps get the rest of the onion out of there. When you're doing Pico in general, a lot of talk about how much onion versus a tomato. Well, I kind of like roughly about 10%. That onion was pretty big, so it might be more than some people's taste, but that's about right there. That's the first half, so we've diced our product. Now we're going to do the jalapenos, we've got cilantro, a couple of cloves of garlic, and our spice and some lime. We're going to do that in the processing bowl. So I diced the tomatoes and onions with the dicing attachment and the dice kit for the R2 dice. Now we're going to do the seasoning. Now I do it a little different than everybody else. A lot of people would have done it all right here with the dicing, but I do mine just a little differently. So I do it in the bowl for the second half. So bowl goes on, S-blade goes in, and we're ready to roll. We're ready. Let's throw those in there. A little bit of heat in this one, not too bad, going to be all right. Cilantro. You think I'm crazy? Yes, I am. I like a lot of cilantro. The way it works with this is it distributes because it's going to be cut really fine and really small. Toss a little garlic, do a little bit of lime on this shot right here. We're going to put the rest in after we're done, just a little bit. I've got some spice for when we're done, and here we go. So all we're going to do here is pulse the machine, get that stuff down to a nice fine mince. So I'm going to hit it a couple of times. There we go. I'm going to keep going, and now go ahead and jump in here, Producer Doug. Take a look down in there. Let's see what it looks like. Now watch, I'm going to let it go, and it's running. So you see how it's fine mincing and the material will roll and go back down into the blades. Only need about 20 seconds. I think that's pretty good. So let's see what we've got. I take the blade out. The peppers, the cilantro, everything, it's pretty good. Oh, I like that. So that's what we look like. We've got it done right there. We're going to take it out of the bowl. Take everything out. I'm going to turn that right into the rest of the material and the diced tomatoes and onions. Just like that. Now we've got all the spice in there. We've got cilantro, jalapenos, a little bit of garlic. We're going to toss it. Take a look at that. Look how the color jumps out, vibrant, how nice and green that is. Keep turning it. This time, secret spice blend, very simple. Remember Sean's secret spice blend. Lemon pepper, Mrs. Dash, little salt, just adds a little flavor to it, a little something out of the ordinary. It's not just your average Pico. That's why we call it Super Pico. If you want to stand out from the crowd, you got to have more flavor. That's what the food service business is all about. So we'll roll it around, we give it a toss. That's what it looks like when we get done right here. So let's jump in with the chip. We're going to have the first taste right here. Delish. That's so good. I've been doing Pico like this for a long time because you want to have some extra flavor. And that is so good. All my friends have always said, boy, you make pretty good Pico. And I've always said, you know why? Because I'm SeanO, the RestEquipPro.